Good evening. We've got details on all of the major tournaments going on in Vegas right now, an interview with a poker professional sporting a brand new World Series bracelet, and a discussion with the runner-up of this year's horse event here on Poker Tonight.
The final table of the Villaggio Cup's event number 19, a $2,500 buy-in, started its final table at 4, and I was down in the Fontana Lounge to gather up all the details for you. Welcome back to the Fontana Lounge for your nightly update of the Villaggio Cup III Tournament Series. Right now I'm standing in front of the final table for event number 19, a $2,500 buy-in. Now the chip leader going in is Dan Allspach. Also at that final table is CT Law. He is at his third final table looking to finally win a Villaggio Cup bracelet after finishing runner-up twice. Francois Saffiedine is also making an appearance. He won a World Series of Poker bracelet a few weeks ago. They are still nine-handed, fighting for that first place prize of nearly $97,000. The event that started today was a $5,000 buy-in no-limit home tournament. A total of 49 players built a prize pool of $238,000. There are currently about 40 players remaining and will play down to a final table, which we will have more information about tomorrow. For more in-depth information about the series, be sure to check out the Villaggio Cup III Tournament Series updates on Card Player TV.
Thanks for the update, Christy. We'll let you know how that final turns out here at the Villaggio. Now over at the Rio, there are two final tables being played today.
At 3 o'clock, the final table of the $1,000 buy-in 7-card stud 8 or better tournament started, and there are now 4 players left. Tom Schneider began the final table as chip leader, going for his second World Series of Poker bracelet this year, but he's already dropped to third position. Current chip leader is Hoyt Varner, and Scotty Wynn is the short stack.
There's another final table that started today at the Rio at 3 p.m., and that was the six-handed no-limit event, had a $5,000 buy-in. Eric Freiberg went into that final table as the chip leader, but he's fallen to second chip position. There are 3 players remaining, and Alex Bulletin is the chip leader. Bill Edler is the short stack. Some eliminations from this final table include Zhao Long and Dutch Boyd. The prize pool was $3.4 million.
Today is day 2 of the $1,000 buy-in deuce to 7 triple draw tournament with rebuys. Though the rebuy period has ended long ago, the chip leader going in is John Shorman, and he has maintained the chip lead so far. Pros remaining include Victor Ramden, David Williams, Greg Raymer, and Alan Cunningham. There have already been a flurry of eliminations, which include Mel Judah, Mickey Appleman, John Pearl Jammer Turner, and Mimi Tran.
The other tournament playing day 2 today at the Rio is the $2,000 no-limit event, which began yesterday at noon. The chip leader going into today was Jess Ravitch, and he is still the chip leader. Pros at the top of the chip counts include Nick Frangos, Jennifer Tilly, and Roland DeWolf. Over 2,000 players built a prize pool of over $3.7 million. Some players who were already eliminated from this tournament include Tom McAvoy, Kirk Morrison, and Dave Redlin.
Only one event began today, and it was the $1,500 no-limit hold'em tournament, which is the last one of the series. The current chip leader is Greg FPT Mueller, and other pros up there in the chip counts include Justin Bonamo, Chris Breslock, Eugene Todd, Michael Gratz, and Juha Helpy. There have already been a number of eliminations, including Mark Safe, Men the Master Win, Bill Gazes, and Mimi Tran once again for the second time today.
Scott Clements is one of the pros still left in this event, but he is on the short stack right now. Before play began today, Clements came by to talk about his second World Series of Poker bracelet, which he won last week, and his first World Series of Poker bracelet, which he won last year. Now, you just won your second World Series of Poker bracelet. Tell us about that.
Well, it was kind of a funny story because I wasn't actually going to, like at the beginning of the year, I wasn't planning on playing the Pot Limit Omaha tournament.
Okay.
But after looking over the schedule, I saw that it was the stud 8 or better that started at 5, and I was excited about playing that event, but it was a $1,500 Pot Limit Omaha at noon, and I was like, well, Pot Limit Omaha, you can really build a stack in that type of game, so
try your hand at it.
I said, why don't I go play the Pot Limit Omaha? And then if I build a big stack, then I'll just skip out on the 5 o'clock. But if I don't, then I'll just gamble a lot right before 5 and then go play the 5 o'clock. I ended up doing okay to start out with, and then hit a little card rush at probably around 3:30 or 4.
So you knew you wouldn't be playing the 5 o'clock?
I knew I wouldn't be playing at 5 after that. So, and when I got moved to a new table, it had quite a few chips on it, and I was able to accumulate most of them, so that sort of propelled me all the way to the final table, where I was able to keep the pressure on the opponents and hit enough cards to win.
Did you feel confident going into that final table that you'd be winning your second bracelet?
I did. I felt very confident, but a lot can happen in Omaha. So, anytime you can hit a cold deck of cards and end up getting scooped on, I guess you don't get scooped in high, but I guess you can lose a whole bunch of pots when you have really good hands.
Yes, definitely.
And it can just. The guy who ended up getting like 5th place was second in chips for a majority of the final table.
And what happened?
But then he just lost 3 straight hands where it was, where it was probably, when they hit the flop, it was probably like 55-45 one way or the other, and he just kept on bricking out, or the other guy got there, or so on and so forth. So.
Was there any one player at the final table that you saw as your biggest threat?
I really didn't want to play. I didn't want. Andrew Black was at the final table, and if he would have accumulated some chips, I really wouldn't have wanted him there. And he was also 2 seats to my left, which also would have been a little bit of a problem, for me, because he's a little bit of an unpredictable player. He's not afraid to go out at any time, so he is capable of making moves. And so I was happy to see him go, even though he's a nice guy. I was really happy to see him go, and at least he was never in a position to really. Devastate my chip stack. So
what did it mean to you to win your 2nd World Series of Poker bracelet?
It felt like it was kind of like a validation. Some people might say that anybody can win 1 bracelet. So I felt like since I did win my 2nd bracelet, then it's more of okay, maybe he did know what he was doing before.
Clements has a lot of work to do if he wants to claim bracelet number 3 in this event.
Yeah, he's going to have to build up his chip stack significantly. Bruno Fitoussi had his second place finish in a World Series of Poker tournament this week, and he couldn't be happier. Well, maybe he would be if he won the bracelet, but he's still pretty thrilled with his finish. Fitoussi came by our studio to explain how he came in 2nd place in the largest buy-in tournament of the World Series of Poker. Bruno, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Tell us about your 2nd place finish in the horse event this year.
Wow, so many things to say. First of all, it's amazing, but I'm not disappointed at all. It's 2nd place in the horse event. How can be better than that, except to be first? If I had to choose, it's not possible, but if I had to choose between any bracelet except the main event, and 2nd place to the horse, I would take the 2nd place in the horse.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy, yeah.
So how did you begin playing horse?
Well, I'm playing mixed game for years now.
Yeah.
I'm playing poker for 30 years. I was professional for about 10 to 15 years, and since 13 years, as I started the Aviation Club de France in Paris, the poker club in Paris, I decided myself not to be a rounder anymore, travel everywhere, and I'm playing mixed games for maybe 7-8 years. I just love the mixed games. I play more like Badoogie used to 7, my high-low than 7-card stud. I'm not a 7-card stud player. Raz is okay. I won 2nd 2 years ago in the Raz event to O'Neill, or Rounder as well, if you know him. Yeah. And I really had no problem playing this event. I really enjoyed it. I really took it like if it was a cash game. When I play like 400, 800, up to 1,000, 2,000 limit. So, buying for 50,000 in this event and playing mixed games was like a regular day here.
So for people that might not be as familiar with mixed games, what's a good way to change your mindset as the games switch? You're playing 5 different games. How do you keep up with that mentally?
It's difficult to answer your question because I don't have to make any effort. It's just like
it's natural for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I just play a game and then another one. What I would like if there's even more games.
Oh, really?
I would love, if there was high-low regular, ace to 5, Badoogie used to 7, triple draw and things like that. I would just love to have even more games. I'm playing any games. I just love poker, so I'm playing any games for years. And changing games is absolutely not a problem. I'm going to play tomorrow the pot limit Omaha, the 10,000 buy-in, which I was in the bubble last year. I'm in a run. Maybe I can do something this year. I don't know. We'll try tomorrow. I can change any game anytime. It's absolutely not a problem.
So what was the field like in the horse event? It was 148 players. Most of them were established professional poker players. What was it like to play in a field like that?
In fact, American players, they don't, especially the young ones and the ones who are not like playing high limit for years, the old rounders, they don't know me, but I know all those guys I'm playing with.
So you have the advantage.
I mean, I had no advantage. I was just like everybody else, you know. I'm playing with Freddie Deeb regularly. Comes to France very often, and play at the Aviation Club de France. Played all those guys, Barry, Chip, all those guys. I played with them for years. In tournaments or even in cash game a little bit less. I'm not playing the very high stake, the Bobby's Room. I'm not playing that high stakes. It's just too much for me. But I'm playing just the level below this one. So I know all those people, and I was just like one of them. So for me, there was no change. It looks like for you that I'm like coming up, but I was chip leader in 2003 in the main event. I went 8th in the 25,000 Villaggio tournament. I won the World Championship in 2001. I mean, I'm playing 4 years.
You've been around.
I used to play with those players. It's not my first, second place. I didn't get a bracelet yet because what happened is 4 years before poker was like on TV, was what it is today. We all players, we didn't play tournaments very much. We were playing cash games mostly.
That's where the money was.
Yeah, I didn't really care about the bracelets and whatever. I'm playing in the World Series for maybe, I don't know, 15 years, 17 years. I've been playing the main one 6 times, I think. I've been playing maybe all together in 15 years. Maybe I've played 30 tournaments, maybe not even 30 tournaments in 15 years. You know, I'm playing like 6 tournaments this World Series. I'm a businessman, I have a lot of work, I couldn't come before the horse. I'm going to play tomorrow.
You came at the great time.
Yeah. I'm going to play the Deuce to 7 no limit, also triple draw and the main event. That's it, you know, the bracelets doesn't mean a lot for somebody who is not like a professional poker player. I think for me, it's a lot more kind of accomplishment to be second in the horse than to get any bracelet.
In another event?
Yeah, except the main one, for sure, the main one, yeah.
He must have been exhausted after that long heads-up play. Actually, the final table was the 4th longest in WSOP history. It lasted over 14 hours.
Now, we just received a new piece of World Series of Poker news. Harris announced today that a 4th starting day has been added to the main event. That means when players pre-register for the main event, they can choose day 1A, 1B, 1C, or 1D.
Now, the main event starts on July 6th, and July 9th was originally scheduled to be a day off for the players, but they're going to say shuffle up and deal on that day as well now. There are still going to be 2-day twos on the 10th and the 11th.
That's all we have for tonight. Tomorrow we'll be back to keep you up to date on the poker action here in Las Vegas. Good night, everybody.
Good night.